Have you ever felt unwanted, overlooked, lonely, not needed? My third year here in Ethiopia was my hardest. I was in between ministries waiting for my school to be built so I could teach English as a second language. I just felt unneeded at that time. I didn't have any clear job description. I felt almost invisible. I asked myself, does God care? Has he forgotten me? What's going on? The other missionary women were very busy, and I would stand at my kitchen window and watch them as they walked away, chattering about their busy day. You may have gone through times like that, especially this last year with COVID. You were isolated. Maybe you felt benched and out of the game of life. That year, God taught me to stop measuring my self-worth by comparing myself to others. My joy, my contentment, my value had to be based only on what God said about me. Come study the poetry of the Bible with me. We're going to look at Psalm 8 today. Let it touch your heart, your soul. When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you have ordained, what is man that you take thought of him, and the Son of Man that you care for him? Yet you have made him a little lower than the angels, and you crown him with glory and majesty. Read this several times, like I did, and then you realize that this poetry takes your imagination and your past experiences and combines them to touch your heart. My past experiences helped me to see the truth of this. I too had asked myself, who am I, or what is man that God even thinks about me? Who am I that you care about me? The psalmist says, consider the heavens. Consider. That means stop, look, listen, think. In fact, I wrote the stop, look, and think in my margin. I made a little stop sign around the word stop. And then I thought about this. The work of God is in his fingers. So what is this poetic image trying to tell us? Our God is so great that it's like finger work for him to create the whole universe. I can go outside at night and I can see galaxy upon galaxy stretching endlessly. And I can think, these are just the finger paints of a mighty God. I am humbled that the Creator God even remembers me. He has given thought of me, Jackie. He has cared about me. I'm also humbled by verse 5, that to think that he has made me a little lower than the angels, and he crowns me with glory and majesty. Again, these are images, poetic images that I have to stop and think about. I have to go to the concrete image of a crown first. What is a crown? Well, it's usually a form of head adornment. It's a symbol of power, dignity, and usually worn by royal people. Notice that verse 5 ends in an exclamation mark, a sense of excitement, wonder, awe. I don't seem to have a crown on right now, so what does this actually mean to me? I think it is talking about how God has bestowed on me importance, dignity, and even royalty. 1 Peter 2, verse 9, but you, and think of that as you personally, a follower of Jesus, you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for God's own possession, so that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who has called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Wow, this touches my heart emotionally. God has so honored each one of us that has become a true believer of Jesus Christ. The use of images like this makes it very memorable, a strong lesson. I decided I would draw a child's face in the margin and put a crown on top. This will remind me of who I really am, a child of God, crowned with honor and dignity. As I meditated on this, I also thought about Jesus and how he walked on this earth. He walked among the common people, just like you and me. He sought them out. He touched the leper. He healed the women. He called common fishermen to follow him. Especially meaningful to me is the story of Mary, the mother of Jesus. Her main one job was to give birth to him. And we don't hear much about her throughout the rest of the Gospels. And yet, the story of the cross, she is standing there, and the Apostle John is there, and Jesus, at the moment of his extreme pain, agony, looks down and remembers her. He thinks about her, he cares about her, and he gives her to the protection of the Apostle John. When I am feeling lonely, unwanted, invisible, I need to remember that God, no matter what is happening, wherever I am, God is thinking about me. That's what he says here. He remembers me and he cares about me. Our prescription for joy today. I encourage you to read Psalm 8 several times. Stop, look, listen. Listen for the whispers of truth God has for your heart. And then be assured that God cares for you.